Today I'm going to explain you a poem, Road Not Taken, by Robert Frost, which is of class 9th standard. Now everyone must be knowing about Robert Frost. He was not only an American poet who wrote very simple poem but with full of insight and experiences of common ordinary man. He also represents dark, sober vision of life. He tries to compare between fact and fancy. Now you are all aware of his one great poem that is called Stopping by the Woods in the Snowy Evening. Today, students, let me tell you one thing. Before switching on to the topic, let me tell you one thing. You are in the verge of your adolescence now. After 2 to 3 years, you have to decide which way to go. Road not taken is exactly the real scenario of your life. After 3 years, you will be standing in a verge of a road where there will be many roads and you have to choose which road you will travel by. If one mistake is done at that time, your entire life becomes topsy-turvy. Now there are a lot of pressures in the peer group or in the teenager group, now which you are facing nowadays. Like if you have a fascination of learning arts or commerce, there will be pressure of your parents that no, my brother's son has opted for science, he is an engineer, so you also have to opt science because this is a matter of prestige. Now what will you do at that time? Will you listen to your parents or you will listen to your heart? What will you do at that time? But definitely, in order to keep your parents' prestige, unwantedly also, you have to follow the instruction of your parents, what they want for. You don't like to opt for science, but you have been imposed science on your head because your father wants to see you as a topmost engineer. This is all about life. What you will do at that time when you want to become a school teacher, but your parents want you to join MBBS and become a renowned doctor. You are terrified of dissecting frog and even dissecting a human body. You don't like, but you have to do. Why? Because this is your parents' wish. Your parents wants to see you as a doctor, and parents also are so much indulged into the words of so-called society that they even feel ashamed to say that my child has opted arts or commerce. Oh, your child, he was studying in class 9 when he got 80%, in 10 he got 90%, in 12 he got 95%, and in he has given joint and he had ranked very well. Then why will he just go for simple arts? Put him into engineering or even in MBBS. This is what all about. But the entire decision is yours, my dear student. You have to face the reality of the world. Now when you will pass class 12, at that time you will feel, oh, I have grown up now, I can take care of myself and I can do whatever I like. But no, my dear, now your journey just started. You will bleed in every steps you take. You will bleed. Bleeding means not that bleeding which I am talking about. There are lot and lot of thorns in the road. Each step you take will be a step which will decide your entire future or character. I hope you might have understand what Frost indirectly wanted to depict through this poem. Now, it so happened once in the early morning, Frost was visiting a wood, and suddenly he came just in a verge of a road, and he saw that two roads were diverging into an yellow wood. I was standing there and thinking which road I should go. A road which is wanted where, or a road which is totally clear, smooth. Which road I will take? Now, my dear students, let me ask you something. When you can get something in one go, why will you try for something which you have to try and get it? Will it fulfill your heart? But I must tell you, the one which you are trying, after getting it, that feeling is somewhat different when you get one thing in an easy go. Suppose when you are traveling, you see a fat iron rod and you see thousands and thousands of ants climbing that rod, and there is a flat surface over there and they want to reach at the top. And so many ants going and want to reach at the top, pushing each other, trying to stable there. And life is also like this. When you will travel, you get so much of hurdles in front of you, and you have to cross those hurdles and reach to your final destination. Now, you stand before the road and think that which road I will take, and if you just take the road which is very, very smooth, there is a chance of falling down, because life is not a bed full of roses. There are thorns. If you want to get that rose, your hand should be full of bleeding, full of blood. Then only you can take that rose. But without bleed, you cannot take that rose. So, if the road which is much traveled by people, and the road which is not traveled by people, which road would you like to choose? Tell me. Definitely you will go with that road which is much traveled by, not with that road which is less traveled by. The poet was wondering, standing there, which road will I take? Will I take the road which is just clear crystal, or will I take the road which is full of stones, pebbles, falling leaves and all? And that road, while seeing that road, it seems to be that the road was not traveled by the travelers, because people do always hanker for which you can get it by an easy go. Now, the poet felt very sad at that time, seeing that he wanted to travel both the roads. Okay, but he was one traveler. We are also one human. How can we choose two roads? We have to choose only one. And that choosing is very, very important in life, which will make our life, which will build our life. What he did, the poet, he took the other road, which was just and fair, and perhaps having a better claim, and which was grassy and unwanted was left behind. And after traveling, what he did, he came back and told with a sigh that Actually, the traveler, the writer, being a traveler, did not travel the road which was easy. He came back and told with a sigh that I should have taken that road, and everyone should take the road which is harder and which will later on give you an accomplishment in the society that you have reached, ultimately you have reached your goal. This is what the poet wants to convey. Thank you very much.